parody, and this is our segment called What's in a Name. Now, a huge name in the comedy industry is Will Ferrell. And for good reason, right? He's a writer, producer, comedian, and he has won 4 Emmys for his leading roles in comedy films. Impressive, right? Yeah. However, there is another Will Ferrell in the far land of Utah. This Will Ferrell has his doctorate in research. He was once almost killed while hiking a mountain, and he has several grandfathers named Will Ferrell, right? This is our segment, What's in a Name? Will Ferrell in the house, coming from Salt Lake City. I just met you 30 seconds ago. I hit record. All I know about you is you have an awesome hat and your name is Will Ferrell. How annoyed are you when folks are like, huh, Will Ferrell, huh?
I think realistically, like maybe towards the end of high school is when I started like remembering, like starting to get interactions based on that. And it was, yeah, ha ha ha, funny for the first couple of years. But then I ended up as a tour guide at the college I attended and had Will Ferrell printed as a name tag. And it turned out to be like the best party trick ever to get 16-year-old kids to be interested in the university that their parents went to on 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
Do you ever use it as a pickup line?
I do not. No. I normally let it like eventually come out, but
Okay. I'm trying to give you some tips here. How old are you, by the way?
I am 29.
So your parents knew who Will Ferrell was when they named you Will Ferrell?
Yes. But
are they a fan or what's going on?
So I'm the 4th. So we've had a steady stream of Will Ferrells since 1922.
Oh, it's a family name. You were the OG before Will Ferrell.
Yeah, we've had William Ferrells in the family side. Like I said, so I'm the 4th. So my great grandfather was Will Ferrell Sr. And then going further back, I know one of my great grandfather's brothers was a Will Ferrell, and that would have been about like the 1830s. So
you're the OG. I get it. So you went into communication. What do you do?
I'm a research scientist. So I have my bachelor's, master's, PhD in material science and engineering, and I work as a researcher. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my. So mad respects to you, because that is a hell of a lot of papers and a hell of a lot of work. So you are like the boss of researching.
Yeah, try to be. And really what research is all about is communicating your ideas, making it relatable to individuals across all fields, and basically being able to break down the barriers to help every individual person that you're communicating this to understand why it's important, why it's necessary, why it's novel. Like the success I feel of research is your ability to share your ideas.
Listen, back to this dude. Apparently he loves sports, running, and fashion. Which of those, if you had to pick, would you pick to choose to spend your time doing?
In graduate school, I became a runner. So now I spend a large portion of my time running, anywhere from your local turkey trot 5Ks to doing Ironman triathlons or 100-mile trail race ultra marathons and such. So I spend a lot of time outside.
I did a half Ironman and I almost died. Like I literally laid on the ground and almost died. So props to you. Do you know that he ran the Boston Marathon in like under 4 hours?
I did.
Listen, I'm going to show you quick clips of Will Ferrell, and I have a couple of questions.
Do you have moments where you say later, maybe reflecting back, maybe I crossed the line there?
There's definitely things I know I've been asked to do that I thought, no, that's too much. But I have to honestly say, I don't think it came from the response of it's too much as it was. I just didn't think it was funny. And the times that maybe I did cross the line, I always find out later because I don't realize I'm doing it.
When was the time you crossed the line in your work, Will Ferrell, and you weren't aware of it? Because comedians, that's their whole deal, is they're crossing the lines all the time and they're pushing those boundaries a little bit. So do you feel like that ever as like in your field?
I was talking to a project manager. We were discussing different projects and stuff, and he was getting maybe a little snarky. And he was like, why would we want to fund you for this? And I basically just immediately stepped across the line. I'm a habitual line crosser anyways, though. It comes with being a curious person.
It's 10 years this Christmas of Elf.
It's crazy. I remember running around in New York in that outfit, literally thinking this is the end.
this is the end of my career.
Really?
I just knew it was a big roll of the dice. I loved this concept of a human raised at the North Pole who thinks he's an elf. But I had just come off of Old School, this R-rated crazy man's comedy, and now I'm doing this family Christmas movie. I knew it was either going to really work or really fail.
What is something in your life that you were 50-50 on that you did not know would work, but you tried it anyway?
Coming out of college, I had a long layover in Chicago, and I ended up interacting with the swim team of the university that I was going on my grad school visit with. So I started talking to somebody, and we were all seniors, and she was telling me about what her plans were after college and any senior trips and stuff. And she was like, I'm going to Africa alone. I'm going to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And then the ultimate question that you never think is going to come from a stranger in the airport, which is, do you want to go? And so I wasn't into running. I lifted weights casually and stuff, but I'd never done any long hikes, never done multi-day backpacking trips. And I said yes. So 3 or 4 months later, I went to Africa with a stranger and had a whole adventure on the flights over there and met up with 2 other people, and we climbed and summited Kilimanjaro and went back. But yeah, it was totally like, this could either be great or I could be miserable for 10 days with somebody that I don't like.
Or
But
murdered. You could have
Or-
been
yeah.
murdered. Watch the TV, what they say on there.
I try to ignore it. It's just a bunch of doom scrolling. But
That's real.
yeah, it was. There was a moment where I was like, "Oh, what have I gotten myself into?" When we were going, because like a plane had been mysteriously shot down or missing, going into to Egypt like a few months before that, and I like woke up from a nap on my way flying from Amsterdam to Nairobi, Kenya, and I was like, "Oh man, we're on the same flight path as that," and that just happened a couple months ago. I'm like, time to go back to sleep. It's either we're gonna land or we're not. So nothing I can do about it at this point. I'm on the plane, so just gotta take it. So yeah, 50-50. Definitely didn't know whether it was gonna work or not, but managed to have a great story out of it. Met a stranger in an airport, climbed one of the 7 highest summits on the.
Are you still in
world.
contact with her?
Yeah.
Have y'all thought about getting married?
We're both happily in different
I
relationships and
don't
everything.
care. If you don't get murdered, you get married. That's the deal.
For many of you who maybe don't have it all figured out, it's okay. That's the same chair that I sat in. Enjoy the process of your search without succumbing to the pressure of the result.
We have a whole bunch of creative folks who are working their blessed booties off to get their art and their work seen in this world. Do you have a word of wisdom for a bunch of comedians who might need a little loving kick in the butt?
There's a famous Air Force officer his name was John Boyd, and he has a quote that has really stuck with me, especially during kind of the harder times of not necessarily getting the recognition you think you deserve, or you feel like you're doing all the right things and nobody's appreciating it, or all the intrusive thoughts are winning. And I lean on this quote, which is, at some point you'll reach a crossroads where you'll have to decide to either be someone or do something. And that point comes for us all. And the general gist is, you can be someone, you can sacrifice your ethics, your friends, turn on who you are in order to appease the right people, to get the right, in this case, get the right shows or get the right audience, and mold your image into whoever you need to be in order to be someone, to get the fame, to get the glory, to get the recognition. Or you can do something. You can stick true to yourself. You can do what you know to be right, or what you at least think to be right with the information you have then, and you can fight through and do what your mission set out to be.
Y'all weren't ready for that, were you? You were not ready. Thank you so much, my friend. This was awesome.